Well, hello, fellow Patriots, and welcome back to the Patriot Dad channel, where we can discuss current events and modern issues, all while keeping it as real as possible. Today, I have a little discussion on the changing of support and the constantly shifting narratives coming out of the White House with regard to American support for Israel, American support for the Palestinians in Gaza, as well as our stance on whether we should support one side or the other. Now, these are not my views. I'm going to share with you the shifting perspective of our administration and the danger that is posed when you take a strong stance in support of one side of a conflict, only to change that narrative midstream. Now, we've proven that this administration cannot be relied upon by our allies based on our withdrawal from Afghanistan and the manner in which we did that. If you want to see, I do have an older video about that you can find linked above. So here's where the start of my confusion with our administration begins. Right after the attacks in October, the administration released these remarks. So when talking about the attacks in October, he said that this was an act of sheer evil, used words like abhorrent and terrorism. He took a very clear stance, let me say again, to any country, any organization, anyone thinking of taking advantage of this situation. I have one word: don't. Don't. So let's say it twice. That's two words, but that's fine. Our hearts are broken, but our resolve is clear. They were going to coordinate with allies for a response. But then this statement here: let there be no doubt, the United States has Israel's back. That's fine. We took a very clear stance. We said the attacks in October were very bad. Okay. Then later on, we have this headline: that Biden takes a tougher stance on Israel's indiscriminate bombing of Gaza. Okay, we already see a change in our support. Now, granted, I'm not saying whether it was right or wrong. I am just pointing out what our administration is doing when it comes to its communication. So on December 12th, this article came out, and we said here that we started warning Israel was losing its international support because of the indiscriminate bombing of Gaza, speaking out in unusually strong language just hours before the United Nations demanded a humanitarian ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. Notice we are not calling it the Israel-Palestine war, because it is a conflict that Hamas started with Israel and Israel is trying to finish. So we told Israel, hey, slow down. You're starting to lose international support because you are just bombing Gaza into the Stone Age. That's fair. So as we continue down this chronology of articles, we are going to go to an article from May 5th, posted on CNN, that the Biden administration pauses one ammunition shipment to Israel. The reason is unclear. The interesting thing is, now here on the 10th of May, we've already seen that articles of impeachment are being drafted against Biden for this because they impeached President Trump for stopping congressionally approved aid to a country in the past, and I believe that was Ukraine. At least they're applying that evenly. But we are starting to see a shift here. Back in December, we said stop indiscriminately bombing. It took another 5 months for the administration to say, okay, we're going to stop giving you weapons. But then 2 days later, Biden is now telling more people that anti-Semitism has no place in America in his somber speech connecting the Holocaust to Hamas attacks in Israel. Interesting. So now this administration has taken the position that the attacks in October were heinous. Then we took the position that the indiscriminate bombing of Gaza was heinous. And now we're back to saying that Hamas's attack on Israel was heinous. I don't think this guy is really all there, and I don't think our position as a country towards our ally is very clear. Same day, Biden warns Netanyahu against invading Rafah as they prepare to take action in Rafah. So same day, CNN talks about that we're connecting the Holocaust to Hamas's attack on Israel. And Fox News is talking about how Biden is trying to tell them not to invade Rafah. Obviously, there's some bias in there with the different media agencies. This is part of why I hate the mainstream media. They are very biased. They do not have America's best interest at heart. All they care about is getting clicks and earning money. So take it with a grain of salt. Now, the last article we're going to look at is a Reuters article where Israel is due to get billions of dollars more in U.S. weapons despite Biden's pause. So it says right here, billions of dollars worth of U.S. weaponry remains in the pipeline for Israel despite despite the delay of one shipment of bombs and a review of others by President Joe Biden's administration concerning their use in an assault that could wreak more devastation on Palestinian civilians, a senior U.S. official said this week that the administration had reviewed the delivery of weapons that Israel might use for a major invasion of Rafah, a southern Gaza city where over 1 million civilians have sought refuge, and as a result paused a shipment of bombs to Israel. But they're still getting weapons where that process of shipment started earlier. Like, I just don't get it. Our position here is clear as mud. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on whether you think we should be supporting Israel, whether you think we should be supporting Gaza, or whether you think we should be just staying out of it. Look, Israel does not really need our help in defending itself. Israel is a very capable country. They defended themselves from many fronts on many occasions. If we need to provide some technological or logistical support at some point, that's fine, but they are a high technology, very resourceful people. The way most of these articles are presented and most arguments are made is that Israel would basically be non-existent without us. Now, I think we have a very strong relationship with them. We have very strong commercial ties as well as religious ties. However, Israel is capable of standing on its own. So barring another invasion from an outside party, I don't really think the United States has a dog in this fight. It does sort of feel like we're being pressured into taking a position that we don't necessarily want to take in support of Israel. Yes, the attacks in October were heinous. They were undeserved. Now, the terrorist organization that was responsible for that, and Hamas is declared as a terrorist organization, should be rooted out. However, their main issue is that they hide among the Israeli civilian population. That makes it very difficult to root them out. We saw this with Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan and in Iraq and everywhere else. When your enemy is hiding among the civilian population, civilian casualties are likely. The only other option you have is to just throw your hands up and say, okay, yep, I get it. You attacked us. We can't do anything in response though because you're hiding in civilian populations, and international pressure is going to make it unpalatable, so we're just going to let you get away with it. The issue with taking that stance is that you will never see an end to terrorist attacks because they will continue to be emboldened by your lack of retaliation. It's like letting a bully steal your lunch money and never punching him in the face. You're going to keep getting your lunch money took every single day. So I can understand Israel's position on this. If you want to hide among the civilian population and the civilian population wants to let you do it, then they're essentially saying that they're all combatants. I don't think I necessarily agree with that, but at the same time, if you are continuously getting your lunch money stolen and you're finally tired of not being able to eat lunch, eventually somebody's going to do something pretty irrational. So when we don't nip these things in the bud before they get irrational, this is what you get. It's unfortunate that there are civilian casualties in this, but it was very unfortunate that this started with indiscriminate civilian casualties on the side of Israel back in October. So look, this is a lose-lose situation, folks. Innocent people are dying on both sides, and that sucks. But I don't think the US should be getting involved to the point where we're sending boots on the ground, which we were about to do to support the pier we were building into Gaza, to support the US invasion of Gaza, because I think Tim Pool is correct in this assessment. If we had landed that pier in Gaza and allowed the IDF to support its attachment and deployment, that would have required the IDF to cut straight through Gaza, and now we would have IDF and US troop presence on the ground to attach it to Gaza, and they would be, as the Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin did say, returning fire if fired upon. That would have meant a U.S. troop presence in Gaza. That would have meant U.S. troops in Gaza returning fire into Gaza. That would have been an awful situation for all parties involved. Look, we can take a position one way or the other, but the United States doesn't really have a dog in this fight anymore. Israel is fully capable of defending itself against Hamas. They are fully capable of doing so. However, I don't think they should be doing it by just indiscriminately bombing Gaza into the Stone Age. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they just decided that leveling Gaza was in their best interest, and they'll put forward a plan to rebuild it much nicer. Almost like you could gentrify it, which is kind of messed up. But look, when you take rocket fire from the same place for so long, like eventually you're going to retaliate, and you're going to retaliate with overwhelming force to end the attacks. It's just the situation we're in, folks. Let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you to those of you that made it to the end of this video. This was not necessarily a fun one to make, but it's a situation that I thought we should talk about. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure you like it and leave a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this one where we discuss more current events, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and click the little bell icon so that you can be notified when I upload additional content. If you have a recommendation for a future topic or something that you want me to react to, please make sure you leave it in a comment below, as I do greatly enjoy the contribution that y'all make to this channel. So thank you very much for that. Take care of yourselves, have a wonderful weekend, and God bless. Go ahead and check out one of the links on the screen now to either subscribe to the channel and see the rest of the videos of the channel, or one of the carefully selected videos that you may wish to see that YouTube has used its algorithm to select for you.